Okay, I got to check out Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and let's not waste any time. What did I think about the film? It was amazing. Let's talk about it. Major spoilers ahead, so if you didn't see the movie yet and you don't want it spoiled, come back and check this out after you go see it. Like, go see it now, like right now. I think the movie's opening started out great. It established the character Shadow in the film. It established the tone of the film. It was very dark. It got us right into the action. We all came here for Shadow. We know he's in the film. There was no sense of dragging it out or having this mystery thing of when is he going to show up. Nope. Right in your face right away. We got Shadow kicking butt, showing that this is going to be an action-packed film. Following that, we get a nice, bright, wholesome scene with Team Sonic and his family. It's just like you're watching a completely different movie the way it just cuts from dark to light. And I think it's great for showing what is going to eventually happen in this movie. It was wonderfully done, and I really enjoyed how the director put this together. We get Jim Carrey back, and whenever we get Jim Carrey in a movie, it is a great day, right? But not only do we get one Jim Carrey, we get Jim Carrey taking on two roles, and he manages to make the role of Robotnik and Joe Robotnik, his grandfather, similar but different. And that's kind of how we remember him from the lore in the game. So I don't know what kind of research he did here, but I think it was amazing however he got the direction to handle that, because you can always tell them apart, but at the same time, you can always tell they're Robotniks. And I think he did a phenomenal job with that. I don't have much complaints on how he carried the characters to that point. I will say, though, sometimes the scenes between the two Robotniks got a bit silly. And yeah, I love Robotnik. But it was just a little too slapstick for me personally at times. I understand this is a kid's film and they might have went over well with the younger audience, but the scenes seemed kind of ridiculous and drawn out just at some point. I feel like they could have gave us a little more Shadow or moved the story along a little bit more. I did like the more serious tone more, but I understand the need for that slapstick mix. I mean, it's Sonic. It has to be fun too, right? But I like a little less silliness in my Robotnik, Joe Robotnik interactions, even though they are silly characters when you think about it. The Shadow throughout the movie was amazing. I love how Keanu Reeves handled the character. I love how they handled the character, giving him his motorcycle, giving him his gun, but not making it overdone. Just doing it enough to say, hey, we know the character, we respect the character, we're going to give the fans what they want. He always felt dangerous. He always felt like he'd kick the crap out of anybody he's around. I mean, this is what we loved about Shadow when he appeared in the original Sonic Adventure games. And it's hard to make a character who's sort of a mirror of the main character really work. I know a lot of video games do it, but sometimes it's hard to separate that character from the original character and not make him just a boring derivative. But Shadow takes on his own identity. His backstory that they gave in the movie, I'm surprised, but not really, that they did it with the death of Maria, because it's essentially a child's death by the military in a kid's film, which is kind of heavy when you think about it, but they handle it very well, and it plays off very well with why Shadow does what he does in his emotional state. Sonic doesn't really shine as much to me as he did in the other films in this one, but it's because he kind of shares the limelight a lot with Knuckles and Tails, who are very established at this point. Knuckles' character, he had his own TV show in between, so I guess I might feel more of an affinity or connection to him, but I think it was amazing. Idris Elba, the way he played Knuckles, the situations they gave him, making them all feel like a team, made this feel like Team Sonic the movie and not just Sonic the movie or Shadow's film. So I really appreciate that, because while this is a Sonic film, we know the Sonic games has taken on a more group setting over time. One of the games in the main three games, or sort of three games, was called Sonic and Knuckles. So those other characters are very important, and I'm glad they didn't nerf them and put them as back plot stories, but they were right there in the center all the time. We got insane action, a wonderful story moving along about the Robotniks trying to get control of the space station for separate reasons, and Shadow helping them along for his own reasons. This led to the ending battle, of course, with Supersonic. We knew Supersonic was going to come, right? Like, did anyone think Supersonic wasn't going to show up in this film? But we not only got Supersonic in this film, we got Super Shadow, which was freaking badass. Super Shadow, man. I was so happy to see it. I was a big fan of the games. This was like my video games coming to live action, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Of course, the ending, as you would suspect, Sonic and Shadow make friends, so to speak, and even Robotnik has a change of heart from Gerald's plan to just destroy everything, which is such a villainous thing. Like, let's just destroy everything and ourselves. Like, we're going full kamikaze, we're going all out. Super Shadow, Robotnik, they stopped Gerald Robotnik from doing that, of course. The Sonic team make up. It's a very heartwarming thing. I'm just speeding over it, but it really was a lot of warmth and heart in this film with a lot of the relationships in this film, even Robotnik and his assistant. We got to see a lot here, and it had a lot of heart. That's what this film really, really was built on. Shadow's action and the heart of the film together made it great. Now let's talk post-credit scenes. The post-credit scene, well, the first one, man, it was knocking me off my feet. Sonic rolls down, Metal Sonic shows up. Now, I originally thought that Metal Sonic might have been the villain in the second film or even the third film if they didn't progress fast enough, because I always felt like it wouldn't make sense to introduce Metal Sonic after we have Shadow, because he's kind of a weaker character in my mind, and he kind of comes first in the chronological order of Sonic. So I was a bit surprised to see Metal Sonic show up now, and I'm like, well, how are they going to play this over? But Sonic isn't really worried about Metal Sonic, but here we get even more than Metal Sonic. A hammer comes out the air, smashes up a Metal Sonic, and we get Amy. Wow. Thought she was going to make the film before. Figured they would try to tease her or Team Dark with like Rouge or someone, but we did get Amy, and it was great. Like, way to go. You guys smashed it with the ending credit scene. But then we get a whole bunch of Metal Sonics looking like Terminators just popping up out of nowhere. So we get this sign of impending doom. We don't know what's going on. This reminds me like of the ending of a great video game. Like, if you guys played Kingdom Hearts, that first end credit scene from Kingdom Hearts, this is just a big teaser. Like, we want to see more Sonic now. Did really good with the end credit scene, guys. Then we get one more end credit scene, which is like after all the credits, you know, the one after everything rolls, you go to the bathroom, come back, it's still going, that one. And it just basically shows that Shadow is still alive. He goes and picks up his inhibitor rings. And I believe Robotnik is probably still alive too. Like, you can't continue on, but I don't know where they're gonna go with Sonic after this. What is Metal Sonic? Where did he come from? Who released them? There's a whole bunch of them. Are they from the future? Is Silver gonna come into play? I don't know. Right now, it's just all speculation. I didn't hear anything, but I am excited about another Sonic film. So let's sum everything up. The look of the movie and the characters, pretty good. Don't really have any complaints. Everyone kind of looks how they should look to me. I know it's them right away. Designs are really good. The music in the film is all Sonic. We got all the great Sonic soundtracks sort of remixed or straightforward. That was another great thing about the film. The music was spot on. The action, Shadows, all I have to say, man, they did them right. They did us right. They did the fans right. I don't really have any complaints about the action or anything. The pacing of the film was pretty darn good, with the exception of, I felt, some of the Robotnik scenes. There was a scene where he was just dancing around lasers and stuff. I get it. It's supposed to be funny, but it wasn't really my thing. The story had some moments where it was like, wait, why are we doing this again? But overall, the story was pretty easy to follow and understand where everything was going, and without getting too deep into too much. And it established a lot of lore for Shadow, which was really the main part for most of the audience, because we already seen Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and everyone else. Overall, I have to give this film a 9 out of 10. This film is probably up there with my favorite film of the year. Of course, Deadpool and Wolverine is like way up there. This film beats out a lot of films for me, and it's something I will rewatch multiple times. I really enjoyed it. So shout out to the Team Sonic over there, and I look forward to the next one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Try to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this, and see you guys later.